And it says we're live. Awesome. Oh, we did it.
Yeah.
This is so exciting. Welcome here, everyone. Welcome to Fearless Fridays. It is Friday and it's time to have a discussion with Penny DeJager from Calgary. I'm so excited for this conversation. One, because I just think you're a fabulous person and I love every opportunity I have to chat with you. But two, because I think what you do is really incredible. And I'm excited to dive into that and to see, what it is exactly that you bring to people and how the work that you do helps people become more beneficial presence, a more beneficial presence in the world, whether that's through their health or their mentality or whatever. But before we do that, I will just quickly introduce Happy Healthy Women to everyone. And that way you guys kind of know about a little bit more about this group. And then we're going to go to Penny and hear what she does. So for most of you, Happy Healthy Women is a community that is across Canada where we want to set up an environment where women can come and just share their authentic self, a place where they can be supported and where they can just find other women to be in community with. And we have organizations or little groups all across Canada. So wherever you are listening from, there's probably a group for you. And you can go online to happyhealthywomen.com and you can find a group that would suit you. We do all kinds of neat events like coffees and book clubs and workshops, everything geared towards helping you be the best that you can be. So welcome here and thank you so much for joining us today. Penny, I would love to have you introduce yourself to everyone and let them know a little bit about what you do.
Yes, thank you very much. Here in Calgary, so I'm the new branch director. I guess I can't say new anymore. We started it in January, and the group is slowly reviving and building here. We've got the Facebook group for Calgary, Alberta, and then Meetup is growing as well. So yes, Penny DeJager from Calgary. So my business is called Rheumatogy Wellness Therapy. I've been doing massage therapy for about 9 years and holistic nutrition coaching for about 3. And I launched sort of a website, I guess not this October, but October 2019. And I'm still kind of tweaking that and trying to get lots of followers. You can find me on Instagram, on Facebook for Penny DeJager, but also Rheumatogy Wellness Therapy. And LinkedIn is something that I'm also growing. I think most of my clients live on Facebook though. So I help women who are probably between, I guess, 40 to 60 or 35 to 60 that are struggling with issues like decreased energy, hormone imbalances. They're struggling with weight loss. Maybe they're struggling with a lot of inflammation in their body. So I help with personalized nutrition plans and different recipes and just holistic ways, mind, spirit, body, to help women who are struggling with these symptoms.
Oh, I love that. And to me, I feel like you said that magic sentence or that magic group of words when you said mind, body, and spirit, right? Like it's so interconnected. And sometimes what we do is we try to pull it apart as if we're not a whole being and it doesn't work. But more and more people like you are showing up that show us actually it's all connected and it's all important. And so I love that you help us tackle the big picture, so to speak. And really in tackling the big picture, we get down to the roots of what's happening, right? So what would you say is the most important thing in your business, or what about your business is sort of a really big focus, do you find?
Right. So I guess we can go back to, when I was looking at my massage clients, it's like what's sort of common and what's not getting addressed with each of them. And it's the root cause. And that's where I came up with rheumatogy. So our medical system, our traditional medical system tends to look at people's symptoms. And so you're getting this medication or that treatment. And we want to look at the whole picture and see, well, what's really the root cause? And if we treat that, then we have more sustainable health, sort of more long-term solutions to helping people. So I would say, gut health is a huge part of what I do. The reason that I'm sort of trying to get more visible with my business is the nutrition side. So being a certified holistic nutrition coach or consultant allows me to get to the root cause by looking at people's symptoms. And gut health is sort of the root cause of all disease. A big part of my practice right now is metabolism and helping women at all ages boost their metabolism. And I have this fantastic program called Metabolic Balance Reset that can really teach women ways, and men, but we look at their specific blood work. There's about 35 different values that is a little different than what your family doctor would give you in looking at metabolites. So how is your liver detoxifying? What are your different levels, like for your electrolytes, so potassium and sodium? Maybe we'll look at your iron level, but so it wouldn't be a diet program or like a fad diet. It would be a specific nutrition program to boost your metabolism. So naturally, as we age, our metabolism slows down. It sucks. And women, it slows down even more because we don't have as much metabolic tissue being muscle. So men tend to have a higher metabolism. Again, not all people are the same. So it depends. There's genetics. Actually, that's something that we look at. So like, how old are you, men, your body composition. So naturally, a lot of us, like I always have grown up saying, oh, I've got an athletic build. But that doesn't mean that I necessarily burn more fat, right? And then as we get older, the hormones get all out of whack, especially if you're perimenopausal like myself, going through menopause. So those are a lot of the people that I deal with, is that are going through those life changes. Maybe they've had more stress than usual, like we all have. The pandemic has been, and it's no joke, you know, the COVID-19. For some people, it's even more than that. Their body composition has changed because they're not as active, they're stressed out. So this metabolic balance program I have is fantastic for people just trying to reset their health. I myself it was October when I was finally certified with this program. I lost 25 pounds by following it for 3 months. So it's, again, we can focus on the weight, but I think if we focus on, I've decreased inflammation, I have more energy to help with my family. We're doing a kitchen runner right now. And I don't think I would be able to do all the things that I'm doing if I didn't really do a health check with metabolism specifically.
Yeah. You know, I just feel like when I hear you talking, I feel like my brain is exploding because I have so many things that you're triggering for me. And I'm going, yes, yes, yes. But one of the things I love, it's not, and I'm assuming that this is what you meant, or this is sort of what we would be in agreement with. It's not necessarily about losing the weight. It's about how much energy do I have? And how do I feel? And how am I showing up in this world? Do I have the energy to do a kitchen renovation? Because very often when we're putting on that weight, it also affects our energy level and what we think we're capable of. And I know I was even speaking to someone else and they went, man, I just feel like I'm sort of foggy brained. Like I can't think. And I'm like, all of that stuff is included, right? And so it's more than just, you know, I want to get down to a certain size. It's about, I want to show up in the world as a healthy, capable, energetic human being. And the other thing I think is so interesting is I'm surrounded in this house by men. I have 2 teenage sons and I have my husband. And it's very interesting to watch the difference between our metabolism. My husband can eat all day long and not gain weight. I feel like I have a bite and, oh, there it is. So it's interesting because what you're saying definitely rings true to me, that I can feel, you know, now that I'm getting a little bit older, that my metabolism is shifting and that I have to learn how to shift with that. And that the choices that I make need to be different as that happens. So I love that. Now, a question that I had for you is there a connection between your gut health and your metabolism?
Huge. Yeah. If you think of all the things that affect your gut health, so, well, stress, the environment, hormones. When I say the environment, there's environmental toxins, those that you put on your body, those that are, well, in the air, you know, or even there's lead or mercury that's in our bodies. So definitely, if your gut bacteria is out of balance, like let's say you're on different medications as well, and antibiotics, as you probably know, play a huge role in, they wipe out all of our gut bacteria, good and bad. So yeah, it does play a big role in metabolism. And the foods that we eat, like some foods are going to actually not boost our metabolism or lead to, like for me, I was having foods that I discovered I was eating that were actually increasing my anxiety and taxing my adrenals. And your adrenal health plays a huge role in how your metabolism is working. We have what's called a resting or a basal metabolic rate. And it takes care of functions that are actually separate from when we exercise or chew our food, that thermogenesis when we're dealing with the foods that we're eating. And so that basal metabolic rate can actually be affected too over time. And those are things, it's responsible for things like blood circulation, the growth and development processes in our body. And that's happening. It's the hidden sort of energy that's already being used at rest. So I'm kind of, where am I getting at? For some people, depending on the diet that they've been on, if they've been on a lot of fad diets, that resting or basal metabolic rate can actually be changed long term because we've been so restrictive with what we're eating. So I teach women and men mainly like, what are the simple long-term things that you can do that aren't going to really restrict and starve your body and send it into a place where you're actually going to gain more weight. Like you're going to slow your metabolism down even more. Yeah. And I think I want to get women and people to a place where they're not looking at, I got to do cardio to lose weight. No, that's actually going to tax the body more and give it different messages. We want to fuel the body, use food as fuel, right? And fuel it in a way that maybe 80% of what we're eating is what's important to our, our energy and our weight loss versus, you know what I'm saying? The 80-20 rule. It's actually the other way around.
Yeah, 100%, right? Like if you have this really unhealthy diet, it does not matter how much you work out. You are never going to be able to work out or work off the junk that you're putting in your body, right? And that to have what you're actually ingesting be healthy and nourishing and to be able to use it as fuel. I love that you said that. Do you find that you also work with mindset with people, right? That when they come in, very often, I mean, I know for myself, right? If I take myself as an example, when I was young, the way I was taught to relate with food is just grab it and go, grab it and go. You have more important things to do. And that was sort of, even to this day, I'm like, what's simple, what's easy, what's quick? And very often that's not the healthiest thing. So do you help people with that mindset around food and that it's fuel and all of those types of things?
Yes. I help people, and as mom, I am a mom of 3 boys that are all, 19, 22, and 24. Think of the times, and maybe a lot of the moms that you chat with and yourself, you're eating in the car, you're eating on the run. There isn't that family sitting around the table and nurturing the body and the soul in the way that it used to be. Like in my family, you all had to gather at a certain time. It didn't matter what else you were doing. We set it as a priority. But it's also, when you think of it, you're helping people chew their food slower, which helps with digestion. We're not gulping down food so that our body goes, oh my gosh, like I've got to eat these big chunks of food. We're being more mindful in what we're even choosing at the grocery store. Like just slow it down. Maybe we're looking at meal prep so that you can, not just grab things, that you're actually mindfully looking at. Maybe Sundays your meal prep as a family and you sit down and you look at your meals for the week so that you are nourishing your body properly versus grabbing those convenience foods.
Yeah. And, I love what you're talking about, because what you're really talking about is that when you decide to be healthy in what you're ingesting, it has ripple effects to the rest of your life, right? Like I'm thinking, what a beautiful thing to say, hey, you know what, Sunday night is meal prep night and everyone comes to help, right? Like, so that it's not just, okay, this is about what we're ingesting, but that it's everything. This idea of like slowing down and reminding us that food, it's a necessity, but it's also a gift.
It is.
Right? It's such a beautiful thing. I remember a while back, maybe it was like 3 years ago, we went to a TED Talk here in Vancouver, and there was a chef who did the talk. And he goes, one of the things that I do every time I eat is I look at the food and I say, thank you for dying so that I could live. And he goes, like, you have to realize this food had to die so that you could live, and have a moment of gratitude. And I was like, oh, how often am I in the car going, okay, guys, let's scarf this down, we're going. And here he was talking about a completely different way of looking at it. It was so beautiful, just so beautiful. I love
and bring it back to the root, bring it back to supporting local, bring it back to, like I get more gratitude over slowly, following a family recipe that great Aunt Dorothy, that's whose house I live in, she took a lot of time and thought into the ingredients that went into each meal. And that's what we're taught in the program that I went through in the diploma program is like, let's get back to eating local, whole, real, fresh, natural, alive, all those words, right? And those are the foods that are going to properly nourish your body. And take it an extra step with this program where I'm looking at specific blood work that says these foods are going to better serve your metabolism and these ones aren't. And I've had so much success with this group program. I should talk about that. So I work with people one-on-one. I work with people in groups. Women, they are more accountable and feel more supported and lifted up when they're working. So happy, healthy women. It was perfect for me to join this. And then we help each other. And I'm big on education. Like if we can't educate, instead of me saying eat ghee as a healthy fat instead of the margarine container, like if I can just tell people why, then they might be more apt to follow that and understand the physiology and the biochemistry in their body better. So I'm a bit of a science nerd, but I want people to understand why I'm asking them to change to drink more water. They're like, no, I don't want to give up my soda and my pop or the caffeine. So a big part of what I do in my practice is education.
Yeah, I love that. That's such a beautiful thing. And like I remember when my kids were very little. So like when they were like 4 and 3 or whatever, and we were on a family vacation. And we were like, oh, let's quickly go through the drive-through. And we were in California. And we were like, let's just quickly go through one of the fast food drive-throughs, chicken nuggets and fries, whatever. And we got to the place where you paid, and there was a sign there, and we'd never seen it in any other province. This was a new thing that the government was requiring these places to do. And it said, the ingredients we use in our food can potentially be cancer causing. And we just sat there and we were like, and my husband and I, we just looked at each other and we're like, we're paying for that. Like, we're going to give them money. They're going to give us this food. We're going to put it in our backseat. And the minute that clicked, the minute the why this was a bad idea, instead of just, oh, it's not healthy, it's not good for you, but the why, like this is long-term consequences. And that clicked for us. We never went back. Since then, the amount of times we've ever eaten a fast food was like, I could count it on one hand. And that was like 10 years ago.
It's going to happen. But when you know better, you do better, right? It sounds cliche, but when you know that you have control over what you're putting in your mouth, and it has a consequences on all your body systems, and one being metabolism, right?
Yeah.
And if I knew, you can go back. If I've got my 3 boys, if I could go back and feed them better, I would, but they didn't die on my watch. But we just know better. Like you can read ingredients. And if there's a bunch of zillion ones that you don't know what that means, then that's probably not a whole food. Right.
Yeah.
And you can discover a whole new world of cooking with your family when you change over to this kind of eating. And still, it's not going to be so restrictive that if you want it, like I had cheesecake last night with a bunch of strawberry sauce. That's okay. But don't do that all the time, right? It's all about balance.
Yeah. Oh, I love that. And I love that because that's a huge thing when you do get on any type of diet. It's the restriction that's so terrible for you. And I love that you can have that sort of all encompassing. Yeah, of course you can have things that you love, but with that balance. So one more question for you really quick. Penny, is do they do the blood work? So women that come or people that come to you for help, do you do their blood work or do they have to get that done somewhere else and then you interpret the information from that blood work?
Yeah, so this program, there's a lot of metabolic or weight loss programs, and this one isn't touted as a weight loss, but more when you boost your metabolism, you may, like it's icing on the cake to lose the weight. But I don't know anybody. I've had 12 women go through the program fairly strictly or stringently, and none of them have they've all lost more than 10 or 15 pounds if they had that to lose, right? So the program, you get blood work it's scientifically based it's a German program called Metabolic Balance Reset. And so you go to it's across Canada, it's across the world. So I specifically, like if you're in Vancouver, or let's say you're in Winnipeg across Canada, I know what lab that I send you to get that blood work. I get the blood work back that helps create the personalized nutrition program. I'm not really allowed to interpret the blood work, but with my background in kinesiology and the science background, I can help sort of. But there's a doctor that is like in charge of that blood work that gets back. And then I help with his help to create the program. So it's one of the only ones that I've found that I can in my values and my education experience that I can really follow and know that it's going to work long term and not set someone up to try something new in another 6 months.
Yeah, fantastic. That's cool. So you have this entire team that's working with you. No, I love that.
Pretty
That's
much.
incredible. It's a team. Yeah, it's a team. And yet it's so personal because it's you, right? They're sitting down with you and you have that team behind.
Yeah, it's not cookie cutter for sure.
Yeah.
It's all individual.
Because we're not cookie cutters, right? Like we're not all the same. Oh, I love that. I love that. So do you have an event that's coming up, or do you have something that someone could check out if this sounds interesting to them?
So yeah, I'm really busy building my business on this, and because people know me as a massage therapist, and now that we're virtual, I can do this program or any other kind of nutritional counseling online. But yeah, I'm going to be offering some webinars specifically on metabolic balance through Happy Healthy Women, so you can look for that. Also, if you follow my business pages on any social media, you'll see that. I mean, I have ongoing registration or whatever for this program. I can take people really at any time as long as their mindset is in the right place, that they're ready to commit to making a change. I do a lot of public speaking, but again, it's mainly online. Like I just did a women's conference that usually is held in Canmore, Alberta. But, and unfortunately, I can't partake in the summit that Happy Healthy Women is offering on April 23rd, but people should go to that because that's going to be fantastic. There's a lot of coaches like yourself speaking at it. So I think if you just watch for upcoming, I will be doing webinars. Yes.
Fantastic. And we can find you on Facebook. Like you said, we can find you through your website. And I'll include that with this video. And then we can also find you on Meetup, where you do the Happy Healthy Women Meetup in Calgary.
Come to our meetups.
Yeah.
I'm doing 2 authentically connecting coffees a month, and then I'm starting the entrepreneur group soon. So people who are like-minded that want to boost their business and wellness and anything to help women be successful. Yeah.
Fantastic. I love it. Penny, thank you so much for just sharing what you do, because honestly, for those of us who are not as well versed in what our bodies need and in what would make us really healthy, we need people like you that go, oh, I could shine a light for you. I could give you the information and I could walk that journey, because otherwise it can be a very frustrating and lonely place to be, to know that you don't feel good, but not to know how to do anything about it. And we tend to moralize so quickly, right? We so quickly go, oh, there must be something wrong with me. I have no self-control. I have no self-discipline, etc. Never realizing that our bodies are a shifting, changing thing that we need to learn about and invest in and figure out. And the fact that you help people with that is a beautiful thing. Absolutely a beautiful thing.
This was awesome to be interviewed today. And I walked that walk, and I think it's important. We all have a story, and I love what I do, and I love that we were able to talk about it today.
Yeah, awesome. Thank you so much, Penny. Thank you everyone for watching. We will see you again next Friday when there will be another Fearless Friday. Take care, everyone. Bye-bye.
Thanks.